Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Out of Sports podcast. Sports. Can you cut that out? Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. We need to cut that out in the edit.
All right,
Welcome
no
back.
problem, man.
Welcome back to another edition of the Out of Bounds Sports podcast. I'm Irvin. Here's Corey. Corey, how we doing, man? How was your weekend?
Man, it's pretty good, man. I didn't really do anything too crazy. I've been working and trying to improve different things as far as like around the house and about you know just picking up different things, trying to expand and things like that, and working on the show and stuff like that. I know we've been away for a while, but I'm ready to get back to it.
Hey, man, I'm with you. I'm ready. There's a lot of amazing things happen on Sunday. We got a lot of changes in the AFC happening. I'm ready. Let's go.
So the first place I'm going is Saints Cowboys. So
No.
we did speak about this a little bit, and I wanted to do a show before the game, but we didn't get a chance to talk about this game. Now, this is your football team against my football team. It's a team I've been rooting for ever since I was a little kid, and I've been up and down about this football team, especially this year because they started off so super hot and then they hit a snag and lost a few games and everybody wanted to hit the panic button. Now, as a Saints fan, you I know that you're realistic. You're a fan, but you're actually a subjective fan, and you actually can when your team is playing bad. You know
Oh
when
yeah.
they're not gonna play very well. And I asked you the question, who do you think is going to win the game? You immediately said the Cowboys, but you also said that it could possibly be an upset as well. Now, let's get into some key things. The Saints has an incredible defense. The offense may not be up to par, but the defense is is playing still pretty well. The Cowboys has the number one offense in the NFL. Everybody knows that. But your defense actually held them to, a very low score. Taysom Hill hasn't played. Um, hey, what's up, Kendrick? Kendrick's back
Hey,
on.
what's going on, Kendrick? Yeah, I see him.
So Taysom Hill, he didn't play well, but what I did see from Taysom Hill, he did, run the football very effective. Even with the time off, and he had a foot injury.
Oh man, don't even get me started with Taysom Hill, man. I
But
can't.
but Taysom Hill is, I just think that they're just trying to force him to play quarterback, and they just need to keep him playing the role that he's traditionally used to playing. What are your thoughts on that?
Listen, I don't even want to go the Taysom Hill route because what all Taysom Hill has done for this team has been a Swiss Army knife. And as much as anybody, whether that's Sean Payton, whether that's the fans, anybody tries to tell you, Taysom Hill is not an NFL quarterback. He's just not it. I saw his starts. I was there live witnessing his first start. I knew from the moment I saw him play the quarterback position as a starter, I knew that we, oh my gosh, we were in some shit because I knew that Taysom Hill is a great Swiss Army knife. He's great as a receiver. He's great as a running back. He's big. He's strong. He's athletic. He's a football player, but he's not a starting QB. And I can see why Sean Payton decided to dish him out for this game specifically because in a lot of at the same time I look at it and I'm like, well, you got Simeon over there and he wasn't really making anything happen with this offense. And at the same time, is you can't really full blown blame Taysom Hill because the Saints are out there playing with some really, really, really bad receivers. Like they're just not getting it done. They're not getting open. They're not making smart decisions. They can't really help in the run game. They just look bad. They can't get open. They drop passes. It's just not right now. The Saints are just not looking good offensively, and it starts with all the injuries that's been going on in the organization. You got Jameis Winston. He's out. He was doing pretty good at the beginning with our starters. He gave me a little. He gave me some hope. I knew we weren't doing much this season, but he gave me some hope towards his last run there before he got injured. Then you got Sean Payton. Sean Payton's out there playing. I mean, he can coach it. He can coach. He's trying to prove a point. He's trying to say that he can take this Swiss Army knife and turn him into an all-star quarterback, and it's just not going to happen. I couldn't have disagreed more with his change in contract. Listen, I love Taysom and what he brings to the table. However, we don't have the cap space for it. We're in desperate need of receivers. We're in desperate need of a quarterback. We're just not looking good. And the fact of the matter is, we're wasting this defense. We're wasting this elite defense that honestly, if they were on a different team and they knew what the expectations were for this year and they could see that, I mean, that they try to make like a playoff run or something like that, this defense would be playing a lot better than it is now. Right now, they're just playing because they don't want to disappoint anybody. At the end of the day, they still gotta earn their paycheck. They still gotta go out there and ball. But when you put the motivation of having the chance to compete for a championship, but these players know what's going on this year. So my Saints right now, they're not going to be in a very good spot moving forward. And I knew going into the game, the only thing I had hope in is maybe some pick sixes that obviously just didn't happen. But other than that, I knew the Cowboys were the more dominant team. They are struggling, it seems like. Somehow the offense, Dak Prescott just hasn't been playing up to par. But the outcome of this game doesn't surprise me at all.
Dak hasn't played well since the calf injury. Um, I don't know why, but he hasn't played well since New England. I mean, he had the game against Atlanta, but it's the Falcons. Everybody can ball out against the Falcons. But he doesn't look comfortable. Even with the game that they won, um, they got out the gate slow. They was only able to put 27 points on this poor Saints team. But like I said, I mean Taysom Hill. I mean, yeah, you don't want to put all the blame on him. He hasn't played all season. It's his first game of the season. But Taysom Hill hasn't played all season, but he ran all your running backs. He
Well,
only carried the
Kamara,
ball. I mean, the ones that played.
yeah, yeah.
Kamara didn't play, so he carried the ball 11 times for 101 yards by himself, and he ran the ball. Um, was it averaging 9.2 yards a carry? That's like good. Like you got some running backs that's not even getting that. The next running back that's on the depth chart was Mark Ingram. He carried the ball one less time than he did. It only amassed 28 yards, 2.8 a carry. So I mean, this might he might need to switch positions because it's just not working out for him quarterbacking. I mean, yeah, he got nicked in the game, but I just don't see quarterback. I like what they use him for other than quarterback. He's not your quarterback, every down quarterback. He's just not. I mean, the worst thing that happened was Jameis. Jameis could have possibly resurrected his career with this Saints offense. If y'all would have had, and it's a lot of variables, Michael Thomas, Kamara, Jameis, that defense, we're having a different conversation. I mean, you're ready to push the panic button, but next season, if you get all these guys back healthy with that defense intact, you're back where you're supposed to be challenging that division with Tampa Bay.
I'm hitting the panic button just because I'm looking at the NFL league that we're in now, and I can see the missing of talent. And I don't know what's going on with Michael Thomas. Things with the organization just don't seem there's a lot of different things that I'm sure will come out at some point after the season that what's really happening between the Saints and Michael Thomas. You hear commentators, say stuff that they've heard around the organization that there was some sort of disagreement. And I don't know. It's just the fact that he just I get there was like another injury that happened during his recovery, and he decided just to call it quits for the rest of the season. And I get all that, but I think we're relying a lot on a receiver to come back and expect him to play at the same level he did, and he hasn't played in 2 years. So first, we've seen what happened with OBJ after all the injuries. We're seeing what happened. We're seeing what happens with these receivers. Not playing in the NFL for 2 years is a big deal. He's never played without Breeze. As we can tell, the Saints obviously had some more lacking things in that offense that Breeze ultimately brought up. Without Breeze being there, we're starting to get a look at what the Saints are without him.
Now, you made a lot of points, and that was a mouthful, especially when you talk about your star receiver, Michael Thomas. At the end of that run with Drew Brees, Michael Thomas didn't look particularly well then. And I think a lot of this stuff, when you talk about professional sports, a lot of time people forget that these are people, they're human beings. And his body language just didn't want to be in New Orleans. I feel like he wants to go somewhere else. I feel like get him on a different team, get in an ideal situation. He's still Michael Thomas. He's up there with the top wide receivers in the game. And yeah, you saying 2 years, it is a while, especially for a position like the wide receiver. But I think that he's still an elite talent. If you have AB, he was out for a little while. He came back and won a Super Bowl. I mean, and then you have Josh Gordon. I mean, I don't know what he's doing right now, but he's back in the league with the Chiefs. So it's possible if he gets into a situation where he's able to get into the ideal situation with the right quarterback, the right system, right coach, he possibly could resurrect his career and look up there with the Devontae Adams and things like that. Like I think that he can still elite, at the wide receiver position. He just don't want to be there at the Saints. I just honestly think that he just don't want to be in New Orleans.
And I have a pretty big suspicion of it too. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with them in the organization. Like I said before, the only thing about it is that you see AB's got Brady. AB is got Brady. I mean, he even lent him Alex, the trainer, put him on TB12, the program, the nutrition, the everything. He has Tom Brady there to help him out a little bit. You got Michael Thomas, right, in a situation in New Orleans, who, when we last saw Jameis Winston healthy, he was dinking and dunking, taking little throw after little throw, whatever the defense would give him. No deep shot, no long bomb for the obvious reasons. We all knew he had turnover issues, and Sean Payton was trying to fix it, right? If I'm Michael Thomas, I'm looking at the way that this offense is headed. I see that Alvin Kamara has pretty much taken all leadership of this team. Alvin Kamara right now is literally the only, besides with the exception of Taysom Hill, whenever he's our Swiss Army knife, he's the only. Those are the only two weapons we have on offense, and this offense feeds off of Alvin Kamara. And at the same time, I look at Michael Thomas and I see how much the Saints have changed, how much he has changed, and history has shown he's not quite there yet to where he's old and he could have reached his peak and whatnot. The guy's 28 right now, and at the same time, I look at the last 2 years and I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Like I said, I'm a Saints fan, but I'm also very very realistic. Just the stats and previous receivers trying to come back. I mean, you get, with the exception of Randy Moss going to the Patriots. I mean, you really just don't see it that often. And maybe this is just me because this is the first season in the Drew Brees and Sean Payton era where you really just don't see anything going your way in the future. You always had a little bit of faith that Brees and Payton were going to figure some way out, and but at the same time, I'm looking at a Saints team that's starting to get depleted in talent in the offense.
And you Saints fans, I mean, y'all make me sick sometimes. I mean, you have a talented team. Like this is one season. I think this is going to be the first losing season under Sean Payton. Like, chill. They're going to be fine. Like, they
Third.
have enough pieces. They have a great running back. Like, he just needs to stay healthy. It's just like, he's small. Just like, you have the situation in Carolina with C-Mac. These smaller running backs are just having issues with staying healthy. But I just feel like you have an elite team. That defense is up there with some of the top teams. Offensively, yeah, this is just a one-off just because you have injuries. Once you get guys back, if you can get Michael Thomas to buy back in, you can get Jameis back, you get Kamara back, put Taysom in his rightful position, you're back. And I'm like, I know that you don't see it right now. Just this season is over. It's a wash. You
But
can't do
see,
anything about this season.
but, but see, you also got to look at it from this perspective, right? I looked at the teams that are contenders, right? And
Hmm.
I look at our offense. Let's say you get James back. You have Alvin Kamara, you got Taysom Hill, and you have Michael Thomas. Okay, Taysom Hill's a Swiss Army knife. We're not going to count him as a tight end. We're not going to count him as a wide receiver. Yeah, he'll line up. He'll get you some plays, but he's not what you would call a number two wide receiver option.
Hmm.
Are we in the same ballpark on that one?
Yeah, I
He's
agree.
he's he's not what you would call a second wide receiver option. You
Hmm.
got Michael Thomas, who like you said, his body and mind are probably just doesn't want to be there. You get him
Hmm.
back next season. Then what? You got Winston, you got Kamara, and whatever. Fuck it, we'll throw Michael Thomas in there. You got three of them in there, right? You got all three of them. What happens when they double Michael Thomas?
Go
What
check out
happens?
Marquez Cruz or something like that.
Callaway had like one like
Callaway,
two.
yeah.
He had like two good games in the freaking preseason. He hasn't done nothing. He
I feel like they're misusing him. I think I liked him. He was pretty good in preseason.
he was good in preseason. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe it's just because he was going up against like non-starters. He was going against backups. Maybe that's just why he went out there and balled. But let's be honest here. We don't have a valid wide receiver too. I look at the teams that are actual contenders. Okay, just in the NFC, you got you got the Packers. Who do you got there? You got your three receivers there. Your core receivers in Green Bay. You got Adams. You got Marquez Scantling, and then you have Lazard. You have those three. You look at the options that the Arizona Cardinals have. You look at D Hop. You look at AJ Green. You look at Zach Ertz. You look at Kyler Murray, and they have other incredible like supporting receivers and supporting cast as well. Their running games in there. James Conner's helping some things out. Let's start there. Then you also have the Bucks. The Bucks, they got. I mean, we can go down the list. Maybe AB won't be there, and maybe that might be the ultimate downfall to the Bucks. But it's not like they have scrubs as wide receivers. They have they have Gronk. They have Mike Evans. They have Chris Godwin. They have Scotty Miller, who's just a deep threat, but when he gets loose, he can get loose, and he made a couple big plays for him in the playoffs. They got the two tight ends, the two supporting cast tight ends. They got what's they got Cameron Braid and somebody else. They got Leonard Fournette. I mean, I just look at all these different teams and how stacked they are, and and when I look at the Saints, if the standard is because to me as a Saints fan, the standard is championship, championship, and maybe whatever. Maybe I'm just hard on them, maybe whatever. But I feel like in any fan, all you want to do is see your team get to the Super Bowl, or else it's a bust, right? Like let's just
Right.
let's just be honest. Everybody wants to see their team go to the Super Bowl, right? And with this team, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, from the outside looking in, I see the talent. I see what it can be. You don't think so, and we'll probably just leave it at that.
uh,
I do have access to the Brooklyn Nets and the Mavericks are playing. I want to try to see if I can actually tap into their Zoom tonight. Let me see if I can pull them up because I
the,
have access to getting the Nets on. They're on now, so let's see. They're already recording. All right, Irvin, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. So we just got access to the Brooklyn Nets. They just took on the Mavericks. So right now we're waiting for a player. It looks like Steve Nash just left. So the Nets did get the win at 102-99. And I want to kind of go over some of the stats of that game, kind of break it down a little bit. Now, the discrepancy with this game is a 3 point. You have the Mavericks shooting 9 of 46. They took 46 threes and only hit 9 of them. That's 19%. Awful. The Brooklyn Nets didn't do too much better. They hit 30% of their shots, but it was a little efficient. They took less shots, but only hit 8 of them out of 26. That was 30%. Both of them shot the ball well at the free throw line. Wasn't too bad, there. But the turnovers, the Brooklyn 12 and the Mavericks only turned the ball over 4 times. Now, I'm not really following the Mavericks like I was last year, but from what I see, that they are locking down a little bit more on defense, the game that I did see. And with the Brooklyn Nets, let's address the elephant in the room. I feel like the Brooklyn Nets are missing Kyrie Irving.
Harden, Harden, and Harden and Dame right now are going through a little issue with how the NBA is handling some of the calls right now, and I think that it really exposes a lot of these guys' game and how it was based around that that tactic. And so right now you're seeing Harden struggle because he's trying to figure out a new game and going to the he's just not getting to the free throw line as often, and ultimately it's affecting his whole mojo as a player, who he is. Like he just doesn't look consistent out there.
Right. Wholeheartedly agree with. The calls are not there, and his game has to adjust. I mean, it's that simple. All right, let me see if I can actually adjust this just a little bit. Are you able to see my screen share?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, cool. So we're just, like I said, if you're just not tuning in, we're live at the podium for the Brooklyn Nets. Um, they took on the Mavericks, and the Nets got the win tonight. Very interesting to see. One of my favorite players on the Brooklyn Nets team is Kevin Durant. He's awesome. I love Kevin Durant's game. I love his personality, and I want to see what he can do.
But you wouldn't buy his shoes, right?
You know what? It just depends. I mean, it just depends because some of his shoes are. I don't really like them. I don't, but I do like Kevin Durant. He's pretty good. I
He's
like
pretty
his game.
good.
Yeah, I like his game. I like his
He's
game.
just pretty good.
Huh?
He's just pretty good.
He's probably the best player in the
Yeah,
NBA.
I mean,
He's yeah, I'm just gonna say it. He's the best player in the NBA, hands down. Like it's not even close from him than the next guy
it's not
because he can score on all three
talent.
levels.
Yeah,
He
talent
can
wise, yeah.
put the ball on the floor, get to the basket with ease. He's starting to play a lot better defense later in his career. Rim protection. I like
I'm
Kevin
a
Durant.
I'm a
I
Giannis fan, man.
oh, you like Giannis?
Oh hell yeah, man. It's just something about the dominance, man. Just gets me going. Bro, like I was watching I was watching him the other night. I forgot what game it was, but like some of the Euro steps, man. At 6'11", dude, Euro stepping, like
Yeah,
it's just a whole other level, man. And to be honest, the dunk, the dunks that he comes out with, his aggressiveness, like it's just like you feed off of it.
And he's super long and athletic. Like it's crazy.
I'm just saying, man, hustle wise, Giannis don't wait for that ball to he doesn't wait to figure out who got the rebound. The man's already starting to run to the back as soon as somebody else other than his team got it.
Yeah, that's true. They're taking a little bit longer on the Nets side. Um, I can switch back with the side, see if they're on. The only issue with that, I have so much technical difficulties when I do that. I don't want to lose my stream. I was
That's
so
fine.
excited that
Well,
I was able to get it up and it quickly. But let me
mhm.
see if leaks on. Let me see. I'm gonna be super happy if I can get them on. Let's see. Bear with me, everyone. If you're just tuning in, we're trying to get the Mavericks on the stream. Let's see if they're still even up. We got Chris, that's Porzingis. It looks like he's frozen.
Yeah, he's definitely frozen. I was gonna say I don't have any audio or anything on him.
Let me see. Let me see if I can actually get him to share it again. Redo it. See, that's what I was saying. Like, I have so many issues when I get ready to try to cheese.
That's
Let's
fine,
see.
man. I mean, however it needs to play out, we can continue the show or we can wait or
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's being very cooperative. It's because you're trying to share it from a different platform,
yeah.
and it's a screen share from another platform, which is just very difficult to do.
No, yeah, man, I get it.
So, oh well, that was cool while it lasted.
Hmm.
But we'll go on to the next topic. Let's get into the New England Patriots, man. Now, y'all tried the last game that I brought the New England Patriots up in the show before that, show 102. I told you about the New England Patriots. I mentioned it. You didn't want to believe me. You picked who did you pick? You said the Chiefs. You said the Chiefs,
They haven't
but
proven me wrong,
they're looking ugly still.
but
Like
they
they're
haven't
still
proven me. Hey,
nah,
hey,
man.
hey, they haven't proven me wrong yet.
Nah, I'm not gonna give you that one, man. I don't.
Oh, come on, man. You gotta. No, don't get me wrong. What the Patriots did last night was insane. Like, trust me, I think it was insane. People have mixed opinions about what happened, and obviously we're going to talk about it. But uh, what I think it was insane.
Yeah, I think that the personally, I think that the New England Patriots are letting the league know exactly who they are. Like y'all forgot we're the New England Patriots, and I think that what they're doing with Mac Jones is perfect. Like they're bringing him on slow. They're not letting him throw the ball all over the yard. And I like what they're doing. I'm not a big fan of the New England Patriots. I don't want no one to get that confused. It's still Cowboy country over here. But what they did last night was highly impressive. Running the football. Mac Jones only threw the ball 3 times. So I think they have a winning formula. I would love to see where they can go. I think they got like 4 games left. And it's a pretty light schedule. I don't think, I think they play Buffalo again in New England. I'm probably going to pick Buffalo to win that one. I mean, I don't think that they're going to come back and lay another egg like that again. I don't know, man. I really know I don't know what to make of Josh Allen. I mean, like I was really high on Josh Allen. This division that he's in, he should have owned it. Like Tom Brady's gone. Like this is my division now. You let Mac Jones come and say, "Hey, not so fast." I got something to say about that. As a rookie.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I listen. I'm with you with Josh Allen. I think he's a phenomenal talent. He's young. He's got some growing up to do. He's still making some decisions just based off of ego, based off of just stubbornness to get the ball in the first available route. That because that final play of the game, he knew that he was throwing that ball, the place he was throwing it from the beginning of the huddle. Like he knew where he was going with that ball. He knew what happened, and it's just the thing that really separates the elite quarterbacks in the NFL compared to the elite talents, right? You have the elite talents, and then you got your elite QBs. Obviously, we can talk about all the gunslingers out there in the NFL right now that are elite talents. Let's talk about how you become an elite QB, which is what I think the Bills Mafia, Bills organization is hoping for in Josh Allen. And it's the only way they're going to be able to compete with a Patriots team coached by Bill Belichick that is coached to not make mistakes, to not turn the ball over, to beat you by making you eliminate what you're best at and making you use your second trait to beat them. And that's something that goes a long way. I think that's really what the Patriots are riding on. I don't really think that it's a big Mac Jones taking over the division. I think this is all just based off of what. And I don't know if you're watching this, Corey, or not, but have you been watching Man in the Arena, the Tom Brady series?
I want to start watching it. I've been seeing it, and
Oh
I've seen
man,
the game.
brother, you're missing out.
Oh man,
It's good, man. It's good. It's listen, and I wasn't even a Brady fan or anything like that. I've never been, never will be. But I mean, you got to give the guy his props. And the show. What I think what I like the most about the show is that it's like it's clear and it's fast. Like it goes through the seasons fast. They don't just drag it along with the same BS. It's like, come on, just get to the story, get to the point, get to the whatever. And they do a great job of doing that on the show. Number one. Number two is you get to see that developmental period in Brady, and he really stresses about the Patriot way that the level of A, accountability, and B, the coaching style that Coach Belichick's coached these guys and how he makes it happen to play to their strengths. Look what happened just last night. The corner that made the play was like third string, and he literally just says, F it, I'm dropping my coverage. I see the quarterback's eyes drop the other way. I'm dropping Beasley. I'm picking it up on this pass. What happened? Ball game. Over. And that's what Belichick has going for him. Now, Josh Allen on a QB elite level is he continues to make these silly mistakes. He continues to throw interceptions. And again, right now, what's happening is the gunslinger league is over. It's over. The Bills, the Chiefs, they're having a hard time adjusting to it because the Packers and the Bucks are adjusting to it just fine. Packers are still throwing the ball, but they have Aaron Jones now in the backfield. The Bucks have established their version of a running game with Leonard Fournette, which is dangerous because we all know he just got the four tutties.
Lenny looking good, man.
Yeah, yeah. And so And so when you look at all the different factors of what's going on, it's just that these gunslinger quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, you have all these gunslingers that were so accustomed last season to be able to fling the ball everywhere they wanted to, create all those flashy highlights, do everything they want. What happened this year was all the defenses just decided enough is enough. We're gonna shut it down. We're gonna play two high safeties. We're going to make sure that they're forcing that we're only going to give up the short stuff and we're going to play tight. We're going to play tight coverage on them. And then look what's going on. And the Bills even they all of this happened and they got Emmanuel Sanders back there too to help him out. And Josh Allen is supposed to be better with the wind blowing harder. It's what they showed the stats last night. He's actually better when the wind blows. And where was he?
Which is
That
weird,
game.
like, how they get these crazy stats like that? Like, that's really weird to me.
I know.
When
I'm with you.
blows, he wins this because the wind blows this way, or
there's stat for everything.
They just be pulling stats out the ass or something like
that.
that.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do. They're trying to keep everybody engaged. But yeah,
it's interesting, but we're gonna still watch it. But these stats are kind of ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, Pro Football Focus has a stat where it's the predicted like a play that could have ended up in an interception.
Bro, I hate like Pro Football Focus.
Yeah, yeah.
I do not like Pro Football Focus.
Yeah. Well, you gotta have a membership. You gotta pay some money for it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ever subscribe. Because I don't know how they're getting the data. I don't get it. Do you have it?
I don't. No, I don't have it, but I did look into it. It's interesting. I mean, really, for just like numbers, stats, purposes, things like that. You know, obviously, it just makes it easy. I'm not sure. I think it was like $20 a month for the membership.
No, not at all. This is my Pro Football Focus right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like I said, it's just for the convenience and the wacky stats.
Nah.
But,
I mean, I think we do a good job with the data that we do get. I mean, as far as like a research standpoint, I mean, we could definitely improve when it comes to, you know, just having more data and things like that, just so the listeners could, you know, be able to engage a little bit more and understand, you know, where we're getting this from. It's just not us just talking on the top of our heads.
Of course.
But as far as like having something like that, I just feel like that we could possibly do the legwork to bring content and, you know, kind of bring it out a little bit more and provide context and clarity, you know, make everything a little bit more concise in terms of, you know, the topics and things like that. But yeah, very short show. We was able to get this done in 40 minutes. You know, that's been one of the things that I've been wanting to try to do is try to get the show a little knocked down a little bit more, for us to get most of the content in, just because we start the show kind of late. But what are your final thoughts? Final thoughts
is even though the Patriots are doing their thing, I can't go to bed at night and say that I know who the top contender in the AFC is, who's going to represent the AFC. Can't come up with one. I'm not completely buying into the Patriots yet.
I told you.
But I'm not buying into it yet.
I said the Patriots. I told you.
I know you did.
And I'm not getting off. I think the Patriots have what it takes at the head coach position
to represent the AFC. But so you're saying that the Patriots come out of the AFC?
Yes.
The Patriots come out of the AFC.
Yes. And they're either going to play the Bucks or the Cowboys.
Oh, you're still oh no. Oh no. Okay. So that's your Super Bowl prediction now.
I want the Cowboys so bad. Like, golly, come on, Cowboys. Like, I don't want to
spend the $6,000 for the ticket.
I don't either, bro. Like, I would have to figure out how to get there. let me tell you this. Like, I don't want to be like super old or dead before the Cowboys make it to another Super Bowl. Like, I want it to be in my lifetime.
Yeah,
Like,
bro, it was in your lifetime when they had the
I'm talking about another
dynasty.
one,
Oh,
another one,
I mean,
another one.
it's
I
tough,
was
man.
11 the last time they won.
Okay, look, and I've said this before plenty of times, man. I I do not think you guys will win a Super Bowl as Jerry Jones as your owner. I don't see it.
What
I
year were
think
you
it's
born?
Jerry. I think it's Jerry. 97.
Dang, you didn't see it either.
I didn't get to see it. No, I didn't get to see it.
It
I
was
trust me, I've watched plenty of rewatch and like YouTube videos and all that crap on him, but obviously it's not nowhere near the same
it doesn't
kind of
compare.
hype.
It,
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like you also got to look at it from the comparison of that all the social media and TV and stuff there is now. Like the same hype energy that they come up with now, it was nowhere near the same hype energy back then. You would see the after news report on the paper and shit. It's not like you would wake up on your
man,
Instagram feed and you're watching replays of the game.
man, I'm telling you, like
Can you imagine?
we had so many great players. It was a trade. They made a trade. They had Herschel Walker,
Yeah.
and they traded him to the Vikings, and that trade opened up so many different things. Like it was like a heist, like the haul that the Cowboys had got for Herschel Walker. If you get a chance, look into that Herschel Walker trade
Hmm.
and how that launched the Cowboys dynasty. It's very interesting. We don't have enough show to go over it now, but if you have some time after the show, just kind of dive into it and see.
Yeah.
That was just whoever pulled the trigger on that trade, not the Cowboys because they was the beneficiaries to a great deal, but that trade was a bonehead move for the recipients of Herschel Walker, and it was a massive trade. You know, that's how they got the draft rights to it, and all that stuff. Like it was
Hmm.
crazy how they
Yeah,
was able
definitely
to
gonna
do
check
that.
it out.
Yeah, because I think when Jerry bought the team, he brought on Jimmy, and then they drafted Troy, and then Michael Irvin and Emmett came later. But I think it was by way of trade. They got the draft rights to like they got the picks.
Hmm.
Those picks turned into them. So yeah. Cause they had a rotten season when they under Troy. I think they lost all their games, or maybe even won like one game in 1989. I can't recall. I
Well,
have to.
even after them, I know Troy's first seasons were pretty bad.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah, it was
Horrible.
pretty bad. Hey, there's a lot of controversy behind Troy as well. They really
Yeah.
don't. Nobody really views him as a.
This is when we need Kendrick. If he's in the comments, he has to chime in about this Cowboy topic because I
And
feel like
that's tough, man. Because Cowboy wise, I do see Aikman get a lot of hate. I see him get a lot of hate even now. And obviously part of it is because he's an announcer and people get frustrated with announcers, but also because, I feel like Troy subconsciously thinks that his stats could have been better, but they were limited by the offense that he ran in, which is the team, right? Like the team. And I think that at the same time, Troy gets plenty of hate because nobody views him as like an elite, like top five quarterback. Dude's got 3 rings.
well, you don't really know the Troyman I saw.
But what I'm saying is there's a lot of people that, and I'm not one of them. I'm not a Troy Aikman hater, right? Like I think he was
Bro,
talented. I don't think it had
listen,
anything to
listen,
do
listen.
with.
The last few years of his career, it was awful. It was they had to force him to retire. He didn't want to retire. He retired like in 2000, and
Hmm.
he wanted to continue playing, but they didn't want him to continue playing. It got bad, and
Yeah,
yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, Troy Aikman. I know you probably look at some of the highlights and him winning the Super Bowl rings. That's all fine,
Yeah,
Wasn't
that's what I'm
he
saying
wasn't
though.
he wasn't great.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying is that everything surrounding him just wasn't it. The one thing I will say about the guy, and I think I heard this from his how ESPN will do like a football life or whatever, right? So I watched his football life or whatever, and one of
Oh,
the
they have
biggest
one
things he
now? I didn't know that.
yeah, they have one of him, and I saw it on YouTube. It's free, you can watch it on YouTube. Anyways, so he one of the things he mentioned was that the biggest difference between what happened with the whole Jimmy situation once he left is the standard, like the coaching, the standards were lowered. And so and I think that problem has lingered on over the years. And again, like it's just that I can see how frustrated I would be pissed off, man. If I was, a Cowboy fan like that. I'd be pissed off because at the end of the day, there's so much talent on that team, man. Like this team should have a better record than what they have. This team is just it's loaded.
You
It's
should be a Cowboy.
loaded.
You should be a Cowboy fan.
Not we're not doing that right. But this team should be like this team should be there shouldn't even be a question, right?
Didn't I
Like
just tell you? You're not listening. I told you they're gonna go to the Super Bowl.
I don't know, man. I just it's tough, man. I just hope you guys don't end up getting like
The Rams,
nah. I think the
bro.
Rams. I think Stafford's gonna choke in the playoffs. I
I
just don't
think
see it. His
the
last
way it
couple
looks up,
performances
like
in big games.
we're gonna get the division game. They're gonna have to come to us, and I honestly think that we're gonna have to play somebody like the Rams.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't
Well,
know if you get the Rams. I would hope you get Minnesota or somebody like that.
Minnesota, Minnesota lost to the Lions,
Oh, that's right. They just lost
bro.
to the
Like,
Lions.
I don't want to hear anything about the Vikings.
Yeah, I know. You're right. You're right. But
That's ridiculous.
realistically though, look, man, like I can see you guys beating the Rams, especially because Matthew Stafford has had some chances to prove himself, and he ain't doing nothing, man. He's not doing anything. Like it's just horrible. Like it's trash. And the fact that everybody has to go out there and pretend like, oh, yeah, we could have played better and everything, like, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, dude has thrown consecutive pick sixes in the last three freaking games. Like, when have you heard of an elite quarterback doing something like that? Like, it's just, and yeah, you could talk about, slumps and whatnot, but just how everybody has now decided to kind of look at the Chiefs for what they are and realize that they've been struggling eight games. I mean, eight games in a row. Like, there's nothing that says that the Chiefs are back. So let's throw that
Defense
out
is
the
playing
door.
better
The
the last.
defense is playing
Yeah,
better, but in the same motion, in the same conversation, you got the Rams. Let's just all quit pretending like this Rams team is the same Rams team from 4 weeks ago. We just need to stop pretending
calm down.
because
They just beat the Jags. Like I'm not ready. They not still. They're still
that's
not.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're
But
not.
but but that's what I'm saying is that's exactly what I'm saying is that they're not the same
Oh,
Rams team from 4 weeks ago. They're not. They're
yeah,
they're
they're looking awful. They
they look bad. They're
yeah.
looking bad. And at some point it's like okay, we can look at McVay and we can say, okay, yeah, he's a good coach or whatever. He's a great
I
coach.
think they made too many moves.
This team just doesn't have any chemistry.
No chemistry. They just putting people together.
Yeah,
Zero
zero chemistry.
chemistry, and
Zero chemistry.
that is important. That is super important when you're trying to win a championship. You have to have continuity. You have to have chemistry. All that goes into the pot, and at the end of it, you have a nice, wonderful meal that you can enjoy. The fans can enjoy, and that is the Super Bowl title. And I
Yep.
don't feel like they're the favorites. Everybody say, "Oh man, they getting everybody. They got this person, they got that person," and it's just like my Lakers. And I know I wasn't gonna talk about the Lakers. I didn't want to bring them up, but it's just like my Lakers, man. You got all this talent, and don't know what to do with it. It's just like if you have like an explosive weapon and you need somebody to pull that trigger to make that weapon be effective. And I don't think either coach, Sean McVay or Frank Vogel, has what it takes to pull that trigger to get the most out of either one of these teams in LA. Get them out. You heard it here first on the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast.
Get the LA coaches out of LA.
This is Irvin, and we'll be back again next week for the newest show. Catch us. Make sure you like and subscribe this show on YouTube. We're trying to grow.
If you love the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe.